Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surai Satchit Sukhaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharini. Revered Swami Jitakamanandaji Maharaj, other revered monks, brahmacharis, dignitaries, teachers, and my dear students. It's a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here this morning with all of you, and it really fills my heart with gladness to see so many young boys and girls here. One reason is, for the last 20 years I have been teaching. You know, when I first came to the Ramakrishnamission to become a sannyasi, a monk, I did not know what work the Swamijis will give me. I went to Devghar Vidyapith. It's an ashram and also a school. And when I went there to become a sannyasi, what did I think? I thought maybe I have to go to the temple and do puja, I have to do meditation and bhajans, maybe I have to read the shastras, Sanskrit. But you know what? The senior Swamiji there, he said, all right, you have come, now go to that hostel. 40 young boys are there, class 6. You go and take care of them. I thought, what is this? I have come to become a sannyasi. If I were in the world and I got married, maximum I would have 1 or 2 children. Here 40 children. I have to take care of them. And that was the beginning of my work, my service as a teacher. I taught school children from classes 4 to 12, school boys in Devghar Vidyapith. Then I came to Belur Math, I was transferred there, and I taught BEd students, taught the teachers. First I taught school students, then I taught school teachers. Then I became the principal of the Teachers Training College. Then as there was a university, I went to the university, and now I am teaching monks, those who want to become sannyasis, brahmacharis like them. There's a training center in Belur Math where they study for 2 years. So I'm teaching them from school children to school teachers to the university. Now I'm teaching monks. So I'm always happy to see students, though students may not always be happy to see me, because when they see me, they know he's going to give a lecture now. So this will be more of an interaction and like a class, because I will say a few things to you and then I will ask you. So I think you have been given this notebook. They have been given a pad. Yes. So make good use of it, the pad and the pen. Take notes. Yes, settle down. Settle down. I shall tell you only 3 things. Very easy. Only 3 points I will discuss this morning with you regarding self-management. The first thing which I want to discuss with you is the theme of today's workshop, that is Shraddha. What does Shraddha mean? It's a Sanskrit word, but the English meaning is very simple. Number 1, right, Shraddha is equal to self-confidence. Self-confidence. Shraddha is equal to self-confidence. And what is this self-confidence? Swami Vivekananda has a famous saying, he said once, the old religion said, he who does not believe in God is a Gnostic, is an atheist. But today's religion says, he who does not believe in himself or herself is a Gnostic, an atheist. He's saying, he's a sannyasi, a man of religion. And what is he saying? He's saying, it does not matter whether you believe in God or not. Earlier they used to say, don't believe in God, he is an unbeliever, he is a Gnostic or whatever, atheist. But Swami Vivekananda says, if you do not believe in yourself, if you do not have self-confidence, if you do not have Shraddha upon yourself. See, this is not Shraddha on God. This is Shraddha on yourself. If you do not have belief in yourself, you are a Gnostic. You are a non-believer if you do not believe in yourself. Swami Vivekananda used to say, never say I cannot. Never say I cannot. Always tell yourself, I can, I can. Yeah. There's a great industrialist, you must have heard his name, Ford, who started the assembly line technique. He said once, if you believe that I can, If you believe that I can, you are right, you can. If you believe that you cannot, you believe that I cannot do it, you are right, you cannot do it. You know, it is like there is this big vehicle outside, Mercedes-Benz, and a little auto. Now, if you sit in the Mercedes-Benz and you press the accelerator, engine is started, you press the accelerator and you press the brakes also. You press the brake at the same time. Accelerator and brake. What will happen? Engine will race, lot of sound will come. Will the vehicle move forward? Will the vehicle move forward? No. But in the auto, small auto, with that put sound, it will go ahead. Exactly like that. You may have all talent, you may have all resources, all ambition, but if you do not have belief in yourself, Shraddha, self-confidence, it is like you have got this Mercedes-Benz, but you are pressing the brakes. You will not move ahead. You are sabotaging yourself. So Shraddha, self-confidence, has 3 components. You write Shraddha, 1, 2, 3. Subdivide Shraddha into 3 parts. First part is called self-efficacy. Self, S-E-L-F, efficacy, E-F-F-I-C-A-C-Y. It's a new word for most of you unless you are psychology students. Self-efficacy, E-F-F-I-C-A-C-Y. C-A-C-Y. All of you use the internet these days. So later on you can go back to your college or your home and you can Google it. Self-efficacy. You will find so much information on it. What is this new term, self-efficacy? It's very simple. What I have already told you. That belief that I can do it. It is possible for me to do it. If I try, I can succeed. This belief. You say it is very simple. What is so great about it? It's a great thing. About 40, 50 years back, in 60s, around 1960s, there was a psychologist in USA, Professor Albert Bandura, B-A-N-D-U-R-A, Albert Bandura. He developed this theory of self-efficacy. He gave the name self-efficacy. What is self-efficacy? It is the belief that I can face most challenges in life. It is the belief that I can face most challenges in life. You have all experienced it. Imagine, you have all passed class 10, class 12, you have all passed it. Imagine mathematics examination. A tough problem is there in mathematics. A tough, difficult problem is there in mathematics. Many students are there who will look at it, oh, it is out of syllabus, I can't do it. Move on to the next problem. And there are some who will look at the problem and they will say, let me try. I have solved similar problems, so let me try. This let me try and see whether I can do it. This is self-efficacy. This is self-efficacy. The belief in oneself that I can face the challenge in life. Those who have this self-efficacy, when they are faced with a challenging task, when they are faced with a difficult situation, they will not break down, they will not back away, they will not run away. They will try to do something. Those who do not have self-efficacy, they will, at the first sign of trouble, at the first sign of difficulty, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. It is too difficult, out of the syllabus or whatever. Will not try at all. This makes a very big difference. In tough entrance examinations and all, psychologists have seen those who have self-efficacy, they will always score more. Not that they are more intelligent. It is just that they try. The others give up without trying also. So self-efficacy, I can. Self-efficacy is equal to I can. This is the first component of self-confidence. I can do it. Second component of self-confidence. Remember, we are still in the first point, Shraddha, self-confidence. The second component is self-responsibility. Self-responsibility. Number 1, self-efficacy. Number 2, self-responsibility. What does this mean? Often when we are talking about confidence in oneself, we forget this side. It is our responsibility. What does that mean? When you were all children, little babies, boys and girls, little babies, 4 years old, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years old, what you want, you ask your parents. I want this toy, Papa. And Papa will run around and get it for you. I want this chocolate or this particular poha or something, I want preparation. Mummy will run around, make it, give it to you. Mummy's responsibility, Papa's responsibility. To do what? To satisfy your demands, your requests or whatever. But those days are gone. You are grown up now. You are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, 23, 24 years old. You are young men and women now. You are not 5-year-old anymore. So, Papa, I want this. Mummy, I want this. It will not work anymore. Society will not listen to you. Mummy and Papa also, they may listen to you what can be done because daughter and son are forcing. But those days are gone. You will say, I know that. I am grown up. We feel we are grown up. But deep inside, we have not yet acknowledged that we are responsible for our lives now. What are you responsible for? First of all, your own desires. You want many things. Now it is not the responsibility of your father to satisfy your desires. It is not the responsibility of your mother to satisfy your desires. It is not the responsibility of the teacher, of the college or university, not the responsibility of the government. They are not here to satisfy your desires. They will give you opportunities. You have to go ahead. It is your responsibility to take up the opportunities present before you and satisfy your own desires, your own goals. That's number one. Your desires are your responsibility. Second, your work, the work that you do in school or in college or university, at home, all the work that you do, the quality of that work is your responsibility. Very soon you will be caught. By the time you get a job in a university or in any teaching institution or in the corporate sector, wherever, you will be held responsible for the quality of your work. The great identity, your identity, who you are, is not your biodata or your resume. Your identity, who you are, is shown in your work. It is your signature. Your work is your signature. By seeing your work, an experienced, mature person can tell what kind of boy or girl you are. I remember when we joined as brahmacharis, a senior Swamiji there in Deoghar. So he would say, you clean up this room. We would go and clean it up. Then he will come and check. But I went and cleaned it up. At home I had never cleaned my room. So my others used to do it. But first time when I joined, I was trained to do all these things. So I cleaned up as I knew. Then the Swami came, I will take a look. First thing what he did was, instead of looking at the room, he opened the door and at the corner of the door he saw where all the dirt had been swept there. Whenever he will go to hostel, whether hostels are clean or not, we would look after the hostels. The children themselves would clean it. And Ramakrishnamission, the students are trained to do it. First thing he will check, not the hostel, he will go and check the bathroom. Is it clean or not? Your work is your signature. How perfectly you are doing it. There was a sculptor who was making a temple, like you have in Hampi and others, gorgeous temple. Now temple was on a side of a hill. On one side people would approach and then go back. On the other side, cliff is there. No human being is there. Now this sculptor, he was making the statues in the temple, in the front, in the sides, and the back also with great difficulty. Somebody asked him, Sir, why are you working so much? Day after day, month after month, you are working in the back of the temple. Behind it, a mountain is there. Nobody will climb there to see the temple. Who will see it? No human being will ever go there. He said, God is seeing. God is seeing this. There is a witness. God watches what I am doing. So, quality of your work, you are responsible for it. Third, so number one, you are responsible for satisfying your desires. Number two, you are responsible for the quality of your work. Third, you are responsible for your communication. You are responsible for your communication. What does it mean? Mainly what you say. Of course, what you write also. But what you say, what I say. Am I polite? Am I truthful? Am I clear? Am I forceful? Sometimes teachers will come in the class, teachers who are not good teachers, they will come. I taught them in the class. If they don't understand, it is their foolishness. And their IQ is low, they don't understand. I have taught what I wanted to teach. That's a wrong attitude for a teacher. Since you are teaching, it's your responsibility to communicate to the students. There's a saying, it is good to get an idea. It is good to get an idea, but it is equally important to get it from point A to point B. Getting the idea from point A to point B means from one person to another. That is communication. So communication, you are responsible for your communication. Truthful, kind, clear, forceful. So you are responsible for the quality of your communication. You are responsible for your behavior. The way you sit, you are responsible. It is your responsibility. The way you behave with others, with your friends, with your parents, with your father, mother, they are not responsible for your bad behavior. And there was a few days ago a child psychologist in one of our institutions. She was telling us about one case. One boy came to meet this psychologist. Boy is a PUC level boy. Some mental slight problem is there. Very angry. He said, today I broke the fridge in our house. Refrigerator, I broke it. This lady, old lady, says, counselor, child counselor. She was saying, I am afraid if he broke the fridge, if he hits me, what will happen to me? Now, she is saying, why did you break the fridge? He says, in the morning I got up, I wanted cold drink, Sprite. I asked my mummy, there is no Sprite in the fridge, I want Sprite. Some cold drink. Mother said, market will open later, I will go and get it later on. No, I want it now. And he became so angry, he broke the fridge. Then the counselor is asking, why did you do such a thing? Not my fault. She made me angry. She made me angry, which means it is my mother's fault. No, it is your responsibility. Your behavior is your responsibility. That's another point, self-responsibility. Your behavior is your responsibility. That's number 4. Number 5, extremely important. Your time. You write down, my time is my responsibility. How you spend your time is your responsibility. Why is this important? Do you know the difference between Mahatma Gandhi and you? Oh, he is a great person, who am I? Difference between Sarvapriyananda Radhakrishnan and you? Another great person, who am I? Albert Einstein, Swami Vivekananda and you? Yeah, very great difference. You know what difference this is due to? This difference which you are aware of. One of the main reasons for this difference between great persons and ordinary persons is this. They have got something which you have also got. One common thing. What do they have? Swami Vivekananda, Radhakrishnan, Albert Einstein, everybody. All the great people today also. In business, in politics, in science, in religion. All of them. And you have got the same 24 hours that they have got. How many hours in a day did Swami Vivekananda have? 24. How many hours in a day did Einstein have? 24. How many hours in a day did Radhakrishnan have? 24. How many hours in a day do you have? You don't know. 24. And what is the difference? The difference is what you or I do with these 24 hours and what they did with those 24 hours. This is the difference. Time management is a very big subject. It's a very big subject, requires a special, different lecture. But remember this much only. My time, write down, my time is my responsibility. He wasted my time, she wasted my time, college wasted my time, my friends wasted my time, internet wasted my time. You cannot say that. It is your responsibility. Number 6. My values are my responsibility. My values are my responsibility. Do I tell the truth? Am I sincere in my work? When I promise something, do I deliver? Am I punctual? Am I neat and clean? Am I self-controlled? We don't care mostly. Nice to read about great persons. What is it to me? No, what is it to you? What does it mean? It is your responsibility. If you have values, your credit. If you do not have values, if your values are falling short, your discredit. Nobody else. not your parents, not society, nobody else. So write down, my values are my responsibility. If I ever tell the truth, if I ever tell the untruth, do not say I was forced to tell the untruth. I told an untruth, it is my fault, it's my responsibility. If I told the truth under difficult circumstances, it is your credit. So my values are my responsibility. And number 7, last and most disturbing, my happiness is my responsibility. My happiness is my responsibility. Nobody can make you unhappy unless you agree to it. Unhappiness is in your mind, no matter what others do to you, what society does to you, what parents do to you, what teachers do to you, what students do to you. No matter how you react to it, that determines whether you will be happy or unhappy. So my happiness is my responsibility. 7 points. I have not generated this at random. There was a well-known psychologist called Nathaniel Branden. You can write down the name of the book, 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. That's where I've taken these things from. If you have this concept that these 7 things are my responsibility, you will have self-esteem. Moment you take responsibility, then you will have self-confidence. If you feel these are my happiness, my values, my time is controlled by some other people, you will never have self-confidence. We will feel that our lives are controlled by external forces. As long as I feel my life is controlled by external forces, I will never have self-confidence. I will always be at the mercy of the world. Repeat after me. Have you written it down? Okay, sit straight. Sit straight. Achieving my desires is my responsibility. Repeat. Achieving my desires is my responsibility. Quality of my work is my responsibility. It does not seem you are convinced. You should say it with confidence. You are talking about self-confidence, Shraddha. Do you believe it? Quality of your work is your responsibility? Yes, I believe it. Quality of my work is my responsibility. Let's hear it. Much better. Number 3, quality of my communication is my responsibility. Quality of my behavior is my responsibility. Very good. My time is my responsibility. My values are my responsibility. My happiness is my responsibility. And give stress on the my. My happiness is my responsibility. My responsibility. Correct. So this is the second component of self-confidence. This is called self-responsibility. Self-responsibility. Third component of self-confidence. Third and last component of self-confidence is self-direction. 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 Swami Vivekananda said, what is the self-direction? Swami Vivekananda said, have a very high goal in life. Have a very high goal in life. Have an ideal in life. If I ask you, what is the ideal in life or what is the goal in life? I am sure you can give me a lecture. If I ask you, what is your goal in life? If I ask you, what is your goal in life? Most of you, you scratch your head. My goal, I have not thought about it. Well, why are you studying in this university or college? My mummy papa put me in it. Why are you doing this particular course? Others are doing it. Is it part of your goal? Is it part of your ideal in life? You know how strange it is when you leave from here and go back to your house, which bus you will take, by which route you will go. If you get into a rickshaw or an auto, you will tell that auto wala that you take me by this route, I want to go there. Will you ever say by getting on the auto, if he asks you, sir or madam, where do you want to go? Will you ever say, let us go on as it is going, let us go on? You will never say that. But when you get into your life, you never ask, where am I going? Why am I doing this? If you do not have a goal in life, if you do not have an ideal in life, you have no right to say after 20 or 40 years, I am unhappy, I have failed, I am frustrated in life. Of course I am unhappy, I have failed, I am frustrated in life, because I never had any goal at all. If I have a goal, if I try for that goal, then I have a right to say that I succeeded or I did not succeed. But if I have no goal at all, if I have never consciously worked towards any ideal, then what right do I have to say that I have become frustrated? You did not try. So, having a goal, an ideal in life. If you have an ideal in life, does it mean you will be perfect? No. Swami Vivekananda said, a man with an ideal may make 1,000 mistakes. He may make 1,000 mistakes. But a man without an ideal will make 50,000 mistakes. If you have no ideal in life, if you are drifting in life, you will make mistakes. So, having an ideal in life is extremely important. What will be your ideal in life? Swami Vivekananda again tells us here, follow your own highest ideal. Follow your own, number one, own. It should be your ideal and highest. Own ideal means you listen to all the lectures. Swamijis and great professors will come and give you lectures here. You read books, you watch on TV, so many things. You listen to people. You should have an open mind. We will take in all things from the society and then ask ourselves, what pulls me? What do I like? That is my ideal. Now then you will say, I like many things. I like that film star also. I like Swami Vivekananda also. I like Abdul Kalam also. So which one is my ideal? All these things I like. Then Swamiji says, your own highest ideal. Your own Viveka, your own conscience will tell me that this film star is good, no doubt. But being like that great person, like Mahatma Gandhi or like Vivekananda, this is higher. I like this, I like that also. That is the higher ideal. Let me do that. Swami Vivekananda said, your own highest ideal. Follow your own highest ideal. It's still difficult, I know. One person told me very intelligently, he has done a great work. I will tell you about him a little later. One person I know, one students asked him, you have done this great work for society in your life. How did you choose this goal? And you know what he said? It struck me, very interesting and practical. You can try it yourself. When you're deciding the goal of your life, you can try it. He said, I was not sure what I want to do. He runs an orphanage for 800 children. He said, at first I was not sure what I wanted to do. But what did I do? I made a list of what I did not want to do. I made a list of what I did not want to become. That's very practical. If you ask yourself, like this profession, do I like it? If I don't like it, cross, I don't want this profession. This type of person, do I want to be this type of person? No. I cross off that thing. So what I don't want to be, you can make a list. What work I don't want to do, what type of person I don't want to be. So what I don't want, if you make a list, it will be easier to decide what I want. You get the idea? Okay. So that is the third component of self-confidence. It is called self-direction, having a goal in life. So this was all discussion of the first point itself. You say, Swamiji, what is the first point? I forgot. What is the first point? Can you tell me? Self-confidence, right. Self-confidence, Shraddha. That's number one. Now we move on to the second point. The second point is 3H. Write down 3 and H, English H. 3H, dash, head, heart and hand. Head, heart and hand. 3H. Head, heart and hand. See, when you want to achieve something great, you have self-confidence, you have a goal in life, then you must develop yourself. Just as a businessman who wants to start a business, he must acquire capital, he must get funds. Otherwise, he cannot do anything. Similarly, You must all try to develop yourselves. We must all develop ourselves in 3 dimensions: head, heart, and hand. Development of the head means the ability to think, to learn, to remember. These are the abilities of the head. Development of our thinking, development of our mind. Mind training is another big subject on which so many books are there. I will not go into it, but remember, for you, for example, development of how you study. Studying, all of your students, let me give you a small example. Development of the head, that's development of the way we study, that's one area. When we read something, most of the time I've seen students are reading same page half an hour looking at it. If you ask, what are you reading? I don't know, sir. Mind is elsewhere. It happens. Now, how do you control that? How can you make your reading more effective? Have you heard of this formula, SQ3R? B.Ed students, they know about it. Yes. Education, they know about it. But you can use it it's very effective in studying. In any book you are studying, textbook or anything, write it down. SQ, capital S, capital Q, 3R. R. SQ3R. What is this? How to study, how to read a book. S means S, right? Give a dash. S means survey. 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 S is survey. I will explain what it means. Survey. Q stands for question. Q stands for question. Questions, plural. Q stands for questions. Then 3R. 3R. R1 is read. Read. R2 is recite. 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 R3, third R, is review or revise. Anything you can write. Review or revise. Revise. R1, read. R2, recite. R3, review or revise. What does it mean? You see, first of all, survey. Normally when we start any book, history or commerce or any physics book, what we do is we start at the first page, chapter 1, first page, and then we start reading one after another. What is there in the book, where we are going, we don't know. We have no idea in our mind. See, when you go to a new city, when you are visiting a new city, what do? First thing you look at, map. Now it is very easy, Google Maps. You see the map. Here are the important places to visit. And then you proceed in the city. You will never go into a city and start walking in the streets here and there. You will get lost and you will not be able to see anything. So in the same way, when you start a book, a chapter, you start a book, you look at the contents, quick look at the contents page. You start a chapter, what do? Look at the heading and the pages, quickly turn the pages, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a quick survey. What will you look for? Subheading. Diagrams, charts, tables, the subheadings which are there, key terms which are there. Very quickly you look at it. And 5-10 pages, you turn the pages quickly. What will happen with this? What is the use? You will get a chart in your mind, a map of the chapter in your mind. You will get a map of the chapter in your mind. So when you start studying later on, all the time you will know where I am in this chapter, what is behind me and what is ahead of me. You will have a clear idea. It's psychologically very important, they say in education, to have this clear idea of what I am doing, where I am. Survey. Second, questions. Second, questions is there. What does it mean? Normally what we do is, when we study a chapter, from school onwards we have got this habit. We study the chapter, we read the chapter, then try to solve the questions at the end. First we study and then we try to solve the questions at the end. But educational psychologists tell us this is completely wrong. Why is it wrong? Do you know why people learn? When we learn, why do we learn? What is the motive power behind learning? The motive power behind learning is curiosity. I want to know. Curiosity. I want to know. Then we learn. Unfortunately, in school and college, why do we learn? It is in the syllabus, sir. That's why we are learning. Now, syllabus, do you want to learn? No, nothing like that. That's why we don't learn also. That's why I have a lot of effort before examinations, after examinations, all forgotten again. Because I never wanted to learn it in the first place. Now, how can you create that sense of curiosity? Educational psychologists say, whatever subject you are studying, it may be maths, physics, history, commerce, whatever. First you go to the questions. Look at the questions, at least 5-10 questions. Keep them. They say write it down, or you need not write it down. Keep it in your mind. When you will start reading, what will happen is the questions are in your mind. Now you are not reading mechanically. You are discovering. You are seeking the answers. You are curious. You want to know the answers to those questions. So when you are reading, then you find, oh, here is the answer to that question. Oh, here is the answer to that question. Oh, I did not find the answer to the third question. You are seeking. That's a much more powerful psychological mode of learning than simply turning the pages one after another. So question first, then study. Not study first and then question. And then third part is the 3R. After survey and questions, it is taking so long to explain it, but actually when you do it, it takes just few minutes. Then you start reading. First is R1, reading. How do you read? Do you have to learn how to read also? Yes, you have to learn how to read. Active reading. There is something called active reading. What is active reading? Don't simply hold the book and stare at it. If you stare at it, after some time what will happen? Eyes will go heavy, book will fall out of the hand. No. You keep a pen or a pencil and you mark, if it is your own book, don't mark library books. If it is your own book, you mark it. Important points, your own comments in the side. What you understood, what you did not understand. Some people write a small question mark. I did not understand this part. I agree with this part. One tick mark is there. One comment is there. I read something like this related in another book. So this is called active reading, where you underline, you comment, you take notes. That notes you may not read anymore again. But that note taking helps you to concentrate on what you are doing. Use your hands. Use your verbalizing skills. You read out aloud what you are reading there. Active reading. Active reading. One of our senior Swamis, Swami Ranganathanandaji, who was the president of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishnamission, he was a prolific reader. Where I am, we have got the entire collection of his books. He passed away a few years ago at the age of 98. Till the end of his life, imagine, a 98-year-old old man, end of his life, 10 hours a day he used to study. 10 hours a day. When he is extremely sick in the intensive care unit of the hospital, I have myself seen. We had gone to visit him. He was very ill. Just few days before he died. Reading such a thick book on, you will not guess what subject, on the connection, interface between meditation and neuroscience, Zen and the brain. Such a thick book. Just 2 days before passing away, 3 days before passing away, he's reading that book and underlining, lying in the intensive care unit of the hospital, reading the book, underlining, making comments. Hand is shaking like this, but he's still doing that. Active reading. All his books, thousands of books he has given to our library, I have seen. All of them are marked. All of them there are comments. Everywhere it's written which date he started, which date he completed. So, active reading, that is R1. R2, recite. After reading 1 page or 2 pages, don't go further. Stop. Mentally you recite. Not like a poem. Just mentally recite the main points. You may feel I am understanding. When you try to recite by covering the book, you will find 1 or 2 places you have got doubts. You don't remember or you don't understand. You have to go back there and take a look. That is called revise, R3. R3, revise. So this is SQ3R. Survey, question, read, revise, read, recite and revise. This is just one technique how to improve our thinking, our studying skills. Many other things are there. So first H, development of the head. Second H, more important than this, development of the heart. Development of the heart. Development of the heart means my feelings for my classmates, my feelings for my parents, for my brother and sister, for family members, for the persons who assist in our kitchen and in the house, for members of the community, for members of our nation and other people in the world. My feelings for them. If you feel, you are a human being. If you do not feel, you are a brute. So feelings, development of my feelings for them. I told you about that person who's running an orphanage. You are all Google savvy, so you can search Parivar, Parivaar, Parivar. Last year he got a President's Award for Child Welfare. Young man, his name is Vinayak. Young man. IIT Kharagpur, IIM Calcutta, IIT IIM combination. A dream of many young people today. Multinational job, I will get crores, I will earn. This young boy is so brilliant. And he regularly used to read Swami Vivekananda. Wonderful young person. You know what he did? He went through this exercise. What I don't want to be. So first thing he ruled out, do I want to be corporate executive earning crores of rupees? No. And like this he ruled out. And he was thinking what I want to do with my life. Once outside the IIM campus, he saw street children, 3 children on the street. And there he decided, I shall take care of these children. Not just social service. He said, I shall be mother and father to these children. He took them from the street, he hired one room and started taking care of them. He did not go for placement or anything. He started with 3 children. I asked him, how did you get money? He said, Swamiji, tuition has to do. IIT, IIM combination, all boys or girls, long line is there. So I will take tuition from you, sir. Now he has got 800 children. I said, 3 children you can manage with tuition. 800 children, how will you manage with tuition? He said, I don't do tuition also. How do you get money? I don't try for money also. Money comes. He said, this is Swami Vivekananda's work. It is his work. I know he will provide. And this is more than enough. He has IIM, the different batches, those who have got big jobs, they support him. And many other organizations support him. Now you see the development of the heart. You don't have to give up your career and start looking after orphan children. That's not necessary. But do you feel, if even one person you love unselfishly, without wanting anything from them, then you have developed the heart. It need not be 800. Start with 1. So, as you develop the feelings of the heart, this feeling of love should be translated into service, hand. Development of the 3rd H, that is hand. Actually, we Indians, development of the heart, head is very good, very intelligent. One Swami, he is a well-known speaker abroad. He went all over the world. He has talked to audiences in USA, in Europe, in Middle East, in Africa, in Japan, Australia. And he told me, last year he was telling me, you see, I have seen people all over the world. I have never found people as intelligent as Indians. Also, I have never found people as lazy as Indians. So, he was telling me that this hand, development of the hand, the ability to work and the ability to work together. Just yesterday, senior scientist was telling us that 1 Indian is equal to 2 Japanese or 2.5 Chinese in ability, in intelligence and ability to work. But if you make 2 Indians together, it becomes 0 because they cannot work together. Somebody was joking, he says in Australia and Malaysia, lot of Chinese are there, lot of Indians are also there. He said these Indians, one white person was joking, these Indians and Chinese, they can never work with each other. They can never have business with each other. Why? So the Indians, these Chinese are very shrewd business people. They will take your last dollar away from you. And Indians are very much, very miserly about spending money. They will not give $1 also. So they can never do business with each other. Anyhow, so the development of the hand. Development of the hand is ability to work and to serve. So 3H, development of 3H, head, heart and hand. How will we develop? There's one interesting thing to learn here. The technique of development. Japan, when we were doing management, we learned this Japanese management. So Japan, After the Second World War, you would have read, it was devastated, completely destroyed. Millions of Japanese were killed, the infrastructure was destroyed, cities were destroyed. You know, 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they were atom bombed and vaporized. Terrible condition. It was occupied by the Americans. Within 20 years, Japan was a rising economy in the world. Within 30 years, it was one of the top economies of the world. Until today, it is one of the top economies of the world. How? 1947, when India became independent, at that time Japan had just come out of the Second World War. 1945, Second World War was over. 1947, if you see condition of Japan, if you see condition of India, actually India was better. Condition of India was better. Within 30 years, reversed. Japan is at the top, we are somewhere. How? So one of the things which I learned from them, it's a well-known system, but we can apply to our own lives. What is the system? It is called quality circle and incremental improvement. You write down this word only, Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N, Kaizen. Now I'm not going to teach you about quality management, I'm going to teach you about how to apply Kaizen in your own life. Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N, Kaizen. What does it mean? Incremental improvement, small improvement. What they do is, in Japan, schools, offices, and of course industries, once in a week or once in 2 weeks, they will sit together in one department, suppose. They will sit in a circle. It's called a quality circle. What will they do? Just day before yesterday, somebody was talking about it. Quality circle. What do? They take up an issue. Suppose we are in this university and in the office maybe. So we are working in the office or teacher's common room. What should we do? Everybody has to give one small suggestion. It should not involve spending a large amount of money. It should not make a big difference, a big change, small change only. But you have to suggest something. So somebody may suggest, our desks are dirty, so why not all of us, when we come for our work, we will have a piece of cloth, just 2 seconds, we will clean the desk. It's very tiny suggestion. Another one may suggest, little flower plant we should maintain in the building, flower pots, and such person will have duty of looking after it. Like this, everybody will give one suggestion, and it has to be implemented. And these are small suggestions, very cheap, easy to implement. Imagine, after 1 week, so many changes will be there. After 1 month, so many changes will be there in that office or in that college. After 1 year, how that college will look, how that university will look. Imagine, little changes every week. Everybody is making changes. Little improvement, just a little improvement. Not a big improvement, not an expensive improvement, just a little improvement. This incremental change, slowly over the years, it makes a vast difference in quality. Vast difference in quality. That is visible. Those who have visited Japan, I have not, but all are impressed. Recently, our Prime Minister, I think, also visited Japan. So, Swami Vivekananda, when he went to Chicago, before that he stopped in Japan. And he was so impressed, he wrote in a letter, I wish our young men and women, our young people, they should visit Japan and see. And we can translate this, we can transfer this learning to our own country. So, Kaizen. Now, how to implement Kaizen in our own lives? I saw something some 16, 17 years ago in Devghar, in that school where I was teaching. One gentleman, a management consultant, came and he showed us how to apply Kaizen in our daily lives. What he showed us, I have never forgotten, and I will show it to you today. You will also never forget in your lives. But only one thing, you have to do what I tell you to do. Are you ready? You are asleep. You are ready. Then you have to do one thing. You have to sit straight. Sit straight. Just do what I tell you to do. Sit straight. Now, raise both your hands. Raise your hands even higher, little more. Okay, put your hands down. That's all. What happened? Something very interesting happened. When I asked you to raise your hands, you all raised your hands. When I asked you to raise a little more, all of you raised a little more, which means the first time you did not raise it to the maximum possible extent. And this is a great thing about human psychology. Whatever we do not do it to the full extent we can do. We do not do it to the fullest possible extent. Maybe little children, primary school children, they are very enthusiastic. If you tell them to raise their hands, they will raise fully. But as we grow a little older, we always do a little less. Whatever our capacity, we do 70%, 60% of that. More is remaining capacity. And this is not a bad thing. This is a sign of hope. It means, that consultant told us, it means every day I can actually do my studies a little better. What I am doing now, right now I can do a little better because I am not doing up to my maximum extent. My feelings for others, it can be a little better because what I am doing right now is not the maximum capacity that I have got. My work, your studies, your work in the house and in the university, whatever you are doing, definitely it can be a little better because you are not doing the maximum that you can do now. So, every day, improve how much? Kaizen, a little bit. You have that capacity. And you cannot keep on stretching indefinitely. There is a limit. But there is no limit to our abilities to think creatively. There is no limit to our abilities of feeling. And there is no limit to the perfection we can get in work. So the development of the head, the heart and the hand, every day apply Kaizen to yourself. When you get up in the morning, you make a vow, today my thinking, my studying will be a little better. How it will be a little better? You think you know which place you are lacking, particularly you know. So what I can do a little better? Second thing is, my feelings for others, sympathy for others, will be a little better than what it was yesterday. And little better only. And my work, the work that I do will be a little better than what I did yesterday. Not only one day, daily if you do this, you will feel the difference in 6 days. By next week, you will feel the difference. You will be happier, your productivity will be more. People will notice what has happened to this person. Oh, he went to Ramakrishnamission for attending a value education workshop. So, apply Kaizen to your lives. Let us apply this incremental improvement, small improvement. One senior Swami told us, very interesting, what difference should you make in your life? Don't make a big difference. It's very difficult to sustain a big difference in life. It's easier to sustain a small difference. He told us in Hindi, न्यूनतम से शुरू करो, सरलतम का अभ्यास करो. Start with the smallest, practice the easiest. What should I do? Start with the smallest, practice the easiest. Whether it is studies or feelings or work, whatever I am doing now, the next improvement, make the smallest step, take the smallest step, take the easiest step. If you start with the smallest and practice the easiest, your mind will never tell you that you cannot do it. If you do something very big, your mind itself will sabotage you. It will say that you cannot do this. I cannot do this. What small step, your mind has to agree. Yes, I can do it. So start with the smallest, practice the easiest. Development of the 3H. This is the second point. And last point is concentration. Last point is concentration. Swami Vivekananda said, the difference between an ordinary person and a great person lies in the degree of concentration. Difference between an ordinary person and a great person lies in the degree of concentration. He said, if I had to do my education all over again, I would not gather facts. I would develop the power of concentration, attachment and detachment. And then I would, a perfected instrument, I would gather facts at will. He says by education, the most important thing in education is to develop the power of concentration. In Swami Vivekananda's life, if you have read, so many such interesting stories are there. One day in Belur Mutt, he was sitting and reading Encyclopedia Britannica. His disciple Shraddha came to his room and he said, Swamiji, so many big fat volumes. It's not possible for one human being to complete all these books in one life. Swami Vivekananda said, what are you saying? I have finished 9 volumes. I am on the 10th. You can ask me any question from those 9 volumes. And that Sharat Chandra, he did that. He picked out the volumes at random and he asked questions here and there. Swami Vivekananda not only answered everything, Sharat Chandra recorded in his diary, not only answered all questions, but also in many times with the same language down to comma and full stop also. Sharat Chandra was amazed. How is this possible? How is this possible? Swami Vivekananda said it is possible for everybody with concentration of mind, concentration and purity, it is possible to get this kind of ability for anybody. I know some of the boys and girls are looking skeptically. It may be possible for Swami Vivekananda, but Maharaj, Swamiji, my case is very serious. What I read now, next moment I cannot tell what I have read. Forgotten. The reason is my mind is wandering, no concentration. How to develop our concentration? Is it possible today also? That is the question. It is possible, and Swami Vivekananda tells us how it can be done. Yesterday itself I was giving the example of another monk I know, as a sannyasi in the university where I was, a very brilliant person. You will be amazed to know that all India, this IIT joint entrance examinations, IIT JEE, he was all India second in his batch, all India second. And then he went to IIT Kanpur. He was telling me that in his classroom, in his batch in computer science in Kanpur, IIT Kanpur may be one of the best IITs in this country. There, he said, just imagine the batch. The joint entrance topper was there, number 1. He was the number 2. Number 3 had gone to some other IIT. Number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9. All are in the same classroom. Imagine the kind of competition, the quality of the students. And there also this person, he was a topper. Now, one day I understood what is the secret of his success. One day, in front of his room, I was passing by and I asked him, he was sitting there reading a book on a bed, his leg was stretched out in front, he was reading a book. I asked him, what are you reading? He can't hear me, I'm standing in front of him. He can't hear me, he can't see me, he cannot hear me. I caught hold of his big toe in his foot and I shook his leg. What are you reading? Imagine, he cannot feel it. I am touching his body, he cannot feel it, he is studying. Only when I went close and I saw that book, I lifted the book to see the title, he got a shock. Now that concentration, that is the difference between an ordinary person and a great person, ordinary student and an extraordinary student. But what is the secret of this concentration? What is the secret of this concentration? How can we improve our concentration? Swami Vivekananda gives us the formula. Swamiji says, do whatever you are doing with the fullest possible attention. Secret of concentration, dash, do whatever you are doing with the fullest possible attention. With the fullest possible attention. Whatever you are doing. Now that is the secret. What does it mean? Sometimes students ask that, Swamiji, when I study I should use fullest attention, no doubt. But when I am gossiping with my friends, or I am watching a movie, or I am surfing on the net, why do I need to use full attention? Swami Vivekananda tells us, remember, it is the same mind. Remember, it is the same mind. How many minds do you have? You have only one mind. You have only one mind. It is like this. One senior Swami gave this example. He was telling the students, your father shaves with a shaving blade. Yes. If you take that blade and sharpen your pencil with that, will your father be able to shave next day? No. Why not? It is the same blade. Because the edge has gone. It has become blunt. It has become blunt. The edge has gone. In the same way, we have a same mind. Whole day if you let it loose. When are you getting up? No particular time, Swamiji. When I feel like it, I get up. After getting up, what do? No, I do a little bit I check my email or some WhatsApp. Something is there, WhatsApp. Many are laughing, so they know what it is. Many of them ask, Swamiji, are you on WhatsApp? No. I ask, what's that? Then, oh, Swamiji, you're so backward. Then I will check this, I will check that. Mobile. When it is not ringing also, one young person told me, Swamiji, when the mobile is not ringing also, sometimes I feel it's ringing. I have to check. So much. What it means, part of the mind is always there. Part of the mind, whether it's become difficult to switch off. So part of the mind, mobile has grabbed you. You are not holding the mobile has grabbed you. There was one man in a village, during rainy season, the river was in full spate, flowing, and many things were being swept away. So he saw what is looked like a blanket. In Hindi they say kambal, blanket being swept away. He said, why should it be wasted? I will jump, swim and catch it and bring it back. I will use it. So he swam out there. When he went to catch it in the middle of the river, he saw it's not a kambal, not a blanket. It's a bear, bhalu. It was being swept away. And that bhalu caught hold of that man also. And those they were being swept away, and the villagers were shouting in Hindi, Kambal ko chhod do, let the kambal go. Let it go. You come back, he will drown. That man is shouting, मैंने तो कंबल छोड़ दिया, कंबल नहीं छोड़ता हमको. I have left the कंबल is not letting me go. Similarly, कंबल is not the topic here. Mobile phone has caught you like the bear. So, morning I do this and that. When I go to eat, then I surf the net. What about college? Boring class is there. I will bunk it today. Then what will you do? I will go out with my friends. Something like that. Whole day passes like that. Right? Night 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Oh, I forgot. This assignment is there. That exam is there. I have to study tonight. 10 o'clock you sit down to study. And you tell your mind, here is this physics book or accounting book. Study. Your mind says, no. Why not? Whole day I am enjoying myself. Now you are telling me to study this boring book. I will not study. Mind will go here and there. If you force yourself to study, you feel sleepy. And then what do you say? Oh, today I am so tired. I'll get up early in the morning tomorrow and study before the examination. Next morning, same story is repeated. So, what we are doing with the mind at all times, if you develop the habit of concentration, you develop the habit of concentration, doing whatever you are doing with the fullest possible attention, then when you sit to study, mind will be automatically concentrated. That Swami I told you about was IIT second, All India second. I have seen him cleaning the room. 1.5, 2 hours, small room. We will get bored doing such a job. He does it with so much concentration. He's not practicing. It's become natural for him. So whatever he does with full concentration. So that becomes a habit. Concentration becomes a habit. When you talk to your friends, you'll talk with full concentration. When you study also, you'll study with full concentration. If you browse the net also, you'll browse with full concentration. Do whatever you are doing with the fullest possible attention. That's the third point, the power of concentration. Power of concentration. Point number 3. What it is and how to develop it. 1 hour I wanted to speak, over. So I have managed my time well. 3 points I wanted to convey to you. But now it's time for me to ask you questions. It's time for you to talk. First point. Can you tell me what is the first point? That is easy. It is written there. Shraddha. But what is Shraddha? Self-confidence. Can you tell me the 3 components of self-confidence? Self-efficacy. It means I can do it. Second component? But self-responsibility means many things. It means many things. Can you repeat to me? My responsibility is my desires are my responsibility. First. Second? My work is my responsibility. My quality of my work. Third? My behavior is my responsibility. My communication is my responsibility. Number 4. Number 5? Absolutely. Time is my responsibility. Number 6? Yes, my values are my responsibility. And finally, you are saying it, but remember, you have to live up to it. Don't blame others for being unhappy. You have made me unhappy. You have made me angry. No. You have done something to me, but becoming unhappy or angry is my responsibility. It's my decision. Self-responsibility is the foundation of self-confidence. If you have responsibility, you will have confidence. If you don't take responsibility, you will never have confidence. Third, Self-direction, which means having a very high goal in life. Having a very high goal in life. What is the second point, the 3H? First H? Head. Second H? Heart. Third H? Hand. Remember, Kaizen, small changes, daily, head, heart and hand. Remember this exercise, that whatever I do, it's a fact, I can do better because I am not doing up to the best of my ability even now, just now. Excess capacity is there, which I can improve. And last, third point, concentration. Third point is concentration. It is the greatest power which we have got. We have all got that power. We are not using it. Yesterday I was giving an example. Let me share that example with you and I will conclude here. See, this year and 2 years back also, I was invited by students in IIT Kanpur to deliver lectures. So I stayed on campus in IIT Kanpur. And I always like visiting library. So I went to their library. Sunday morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I found some boys and girls. They came and sat in the library, started studying. I went out for some work. I went and had lunch, and again in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, I came back. I found the same boys and girls sitting in the same position and studying. Now, I was impressed. I went and asked I told one PhD student there, I am so happy to see these boys and girls studying at a stretch for 7-8 hours. And that student said, this is nothing, Swamiji. If you come before exams, Sunday, this same library, and library is open 24 hours a day. You will find boys and girls are coming in, not 3 or 4, 500, 600 at 8 o'clock in the morning. They sit for studying. 11:30, 12, they do not go back to the hostel for food. They'll just go downstairs in the cafeteria, they grab a sandwich and come back again. Afternoon, they're not going to the hostel, they're studying. Evening, not going to the hostel, not going for dinner. Throughout the night, did not go back to the hostel. Not 1 or 2, 700, 800 students. Next day in the morning, they'll get down in the same bathroom in the bathrooms of the library, washing their face, and they have all got cycle. And it's prohibited to make any noise there. So, 10,000 students, huge campus, no noise. They'll take their cycles, bicycle, and go to the examination. 24 hours, 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock next morning. And you see how boring. It is not boring. They're enjoying themselves. If you do something with concentration, then it's enjoyable. You leave everything else aside. Do something with concentration. Only when it is boring, when you have studies, accounts book or engineering book open in front of you, TV is there, internet is there, mobile is there, friends may call, SMS may come, whatever, all these things are there, then that studying is boring because mind is going here and there. If you cut it all out, then it will not be boring. Mind will be totally in this. Concentration is enjoyable. You are all students. Sometime in your life, you have experienced when you studied something seriously, which you liked, which you did very seriously, put in hard work. You may be tired, but you enjoyed it. No doubt about it. And many people are nodding their heads. Yes, any student has experienced this. So concentration is enjoyable. Next, I went to a private college, engineering college. I'll tell you the difference. I told those boys and girls the difference. I said, do you know the difference between those IIT boys and girls and you? So, Swamiji, they are more intelligent. And no, intelligence is not the difference. Oh, their teachers are better. No, I have myself gone there and seen, not much better. Oh, their facilities are better. No, I myself saw your computer room and your library. Not at all much of a difference. I'll tell you the difference. I went to your library at 5 o'clock. Only 2 girls were there borrowing some books. I went to your computer department, row after row of latest machines, shining equipment, all empty. Nobody is there. Then I asked the teacher, don't you allow these boys and girls after class hours to study here, to use the computers? I said, oh Swamiji, we allow them, but nobody comes. Where have they gone? Oh, sab ghumne chala gaya. They have gone out for having fun. If you ask the boys and girls, what are you doing now? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. What exactly do you do? Nothing, just like that. Just like that. So this is the difference. They are using that time, they are focusing on something, and if 1 or 2 persons may be exceptional, but when 700, 800, 1000 people are doing, it's not exceptional. Every young man or woman has that capacity. We have that capacity. They are using it, we do not use it. That's all. This is the difference. So, difference in concentration. And the secret of concentration is to, can anybody tell me, to do whatever you are doing with the fullest possible attention. So she was paying attention. To do whatever you are doing with the fullest possible attention. Do you have any questions? Somebody will say, yes, Maharaj, Swamiji, when will you stop? That is the question. I have stopped. Now, do you have any questions? We have time for 1 or 2 questions. Only 2 kinds of there is an audience which does not ask questions. One is an audience did not understand anything, so no questions. And the other audience, I've understood everything, no questions. Questions? Yes, there's a question here. Sir, please, can you tell us your name and which?
Professor Nagaraj.
Yes.
From Manipal College, MIT.
Manipal, yes, MIT.
So I'm a teacher there. But sometimes I find that the students, in spite of our best efforts, teaching a subject and all, the response, some of them, some are extremely good, but some are not responding. So can you please suggest a method so that I can bring them up some level, minimum level?
Yes. First of all, at that level, MIT is engineering level, the level of these boys and girls here, they are not children anymore. So one should not say in spite of our best efforts. Learning should come from them now. My responsibility, quality of my work, which means my studies, is my responsibility. That has first to be taught to them. It is your responsibility. I can drag you to water, horse to water. I cannot force a horse to drink. Now everything is set out in front of you. That's one thing. So they must take, the students must be autonomous learners. I want to learn. I want to learn. Second, I've seen where I am in Ramakrishnamission, Belur Mutt, in the library, Swami Ranganathanandaji is a great orator, but how he became a great orator, we can see the development. His old notebooks are there in the library, preserved. At that time, they did not have money to buy books. He would go to the library or borrow a book from somebody and copy the whole book. No money to buy a pen also, pencil. Whole book is copied on the pencil, by the pencil. Imagine. Look at the difference between these 2 approaches. One approach is, here is this person who wants to learn so much, he somehow gets hold of a book and he copies the whole book with a pencil on a notebook. And the other extreme, which I did not know, something new has come. I have missed out last 20 years. I have not gone to university classroom to study, but recently I had the chance to learn Indian logic, Navya Nyaya, at the Asiatic Society in Kolkata. Now, I was the only monk. Others were young, a little older than you, research students. So some of them were teachers, some of the research students, young men and women. One interesting thing I saw, which I had not seen earlier. The person who is teaching is an old Pandit, traditional Sanskrit Pandit. He is teaching. He writes with great difficulty, writes something on the blackboard. And I saw the students, I was amazed, but this may be common for all of you. The students there, the boys and girls sitting, young men and women sitting there, they looked at him. He's writing. After he finishes writing, 5 minutes later, all of them whip out their mobile phones, picture taken and put in the pocket again. What are you doing? Taking notes, Maharaj? Taking notes, Swamiji? Notes. You know what's the problem with this? I doubt how many of them will read that again. So you're taking notes. So the mobile phone is learning, no doubt. But whether you are learning or not, this is the difference. One extreme was that, where he had to copy because of force of circumstance. But you see the eagerness. He's eager to learn. So he takes the trouble of copying down the whole book. And here on the other hand, don't even bother. Teacher is working harder than the students. Students only click. This makes a very big difference. Just the act of copying something. Just the act of copying something. That means I am reading it, I am putting in my memory, then putting it down precisely on the notebook, that itself helps in learning. I'm not saying that you should copy books, but I'm saying be autonomous learners. You transfer that responsibility to the students. They must be convinced of this. I have to learn. At this level, you cannot do anything more with your responsibility. Okay. And one more thing, what teachers and institutions can do is reduce distractions. There are a lot of distractions now in life which were not there earlier. Internet is a distraction, mobile is a distraction, there's instant communication with each other. It's very useful, but also a distraction. It distracts the mind. There was a book on the effect of computer and internet on schools in America. The name of the book is very interesting. The Flickering Mind. We say flickering screen. The name of the book is The Flickering Mind. Because of this easy availability of information and the hyperlinking, going from one link to another, our minds also have become like that. We instantly demand satisfaction. That searching is not there anymore. That ability to absorb is not there anymore. There's one interesting story of Pauling, the famous he won 2 Nobel Prizes, Linus Pauling, chemistry. So one day he was very busy. In those days, he was very busy. He said, I cannot go to the class today. With my research, I'm busy. So my old lectures were taped. In those days, spools were there, spools. So he told the assistant, you go and play this tape and the students will take down notes. Did that. Next day, again the same thing. Third day, Pauling said, let me go and see how it is going on. And he found the tape is being played. He's not there, so tape is being played. Students are also not there. Everywhere tape recorder is there. And they put the record button there. They have also bought tape recorder and put it there. So from tape recorder to tape recorder. Somebody said, in university education, knowledge flows from the lecturer's notes to the student's notes without entering the heads of either one of them. So reducing distraction. Can you devise strategies by involving the students? Students must be involved in the process. How can we reduce the distractions? One thing I'll say and just conclude this. The logo of the Ramakrishnamission, symbol of the Ramakrishnamission, you would have seen in temple and other places. There is one. It is here. Yes, here. You can see here and there. Can you see that snake? That snake is there, which is encircling everything. That is a symbol of meditation, Raja Yoga, of concentration. Swami Vivekananda himself made this diagram. And what is the meaning of that snake? It's concentration. Now, what I want to tell you is, you see, what the snake does is, when it is concentrating on a particular, say, you want to catch a mouse or a frog, the snake will do like this. And it's concentrating. What it does is, that hood, the hood of the snake, you can see, it has expanded. Now, the meaning of that is, it is blocking out all other distractions, only that thing. Arjuna's story is there. He concentrated only on the target, the eye of the bird. Similarly, the snake is concentrating on the frog or the mouse and cutting out all distractions. Have you seen how small children study in your own house? Brother or sister, younger brother and sister, when they study, how will they study? Have you noticed like this? When they want to study, concentrate very much, they will do like this. What are they doing? They are blocking out the world. So to study for concentration, focus is one thing. The other thing is cutting out the world, blocking out the world. The snake does that. So that is one of the meanings of 3 meanings are there. Many things are to be said about it. But one meaning is you cut out the world, reduce the distraction. So when you study, no internet, no phone, no distractions of friends, everything cut out. Door locked, phone switched off in another room. 1 hour, you make a decision. 1 hour or 2 hours, it will be like this. You should have it. If you cannot do it, then phone has caught you. Bhalu tumko pakad liya. Bhalu has caught you. You are not catching the bhalu. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we'll go on to the next. A quick question. What's your name?
I'm Raksha.
Raksha. Which college are you from?
SDM College.
Okay, please go ahead.
As this might be not appropriate to be asked here, but do we have to believe in fate or destiny? as you told that we guide the auto person to take us from a place to place, but
Yes.
we do not imply the same thing in our lives.
Yes.
But there are so many astrologers who can directly predict what can happen in our life and what cannot.
Yes.
Is that true or not? And if it is true, then how much should we believe? And if it is not,
True,
then what should be done?
Okay, is a question. This question can be put in another way also. How much free will do we have? You are saying, Swamiji, you take responsibility for your own life. Actually, how much can we do? There are so many forces in our lives. Parents are there, society is there, demands are there, my own health is there, capacity is there. So how much responsibility can I actually take? How much freedom do I have? The important thing is not how much capacity do you have, how much is determined by fate or free will. The important thing is the attitude. Am I willing to take responsibility? Let me have 20% capacity also, but the attitude is, shall I take responsibility or not? Afterwards, ultimate result will depend on many things. It will depend on your effort, it will depend on the society, depend on the competition, many things are there. Many things may happen in life. But very important thing is your attitude. Extremely important. Let astrologers say what they will. I am not so much interested in that. I am interested in is that I am taking responsibility for my life. The 7 factors are there. My happiness, my desires, my work, my values. I am taking responsibility for that, and I will do my utmost to live up to that responsibility. That attitude helps always. That's all. Thank you.